Alright, so I've got the gasket all greased up. I got this intake manifold on this car. It has a metal aluminum intake manifold, which is really nice. Alright, and so I've got my gasket. It's all cleaned up. We're using the old gasket, no problem. Got it all greased up nicely. It's got a whole bunch of 13mm bolts in it. We're going to get all the bolts sorted out. Now on here you'll notice that that bolt in the rear back there, you have to put that bolt in before you put the intake on. This bolt right here. You have to put that bolt in its slot because you won't be able to get it in there the way I've done this. I didn't take all this stuff off to get the intake off. I just reached in there with the open-end wrench and took it out, used my fingers, whatever. So that's the only trick about doing this, and I'll show that in just a moment. Alright, so this is just the top of the intake manifold here, and I'm showing back here in the back this bolt back here. And I took that little, they have those little, if you look in there, you'll see that little black alignment dowel in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but each one of them has that little alignment. Well, I took that plastic alignment doodad out of there because I need a little slack here. Is when I'm taking this one out, I need all the space I can get. And even when you're putting it back in, because you'll be putting it back in with your fingers, and then once it gets to this point here past the top of this, you'll have to turn a little ways farther, and then you'll be able to get a socket on it. Once it gets pretty far down in there, you can get a socket because of the clearance issue that you're going to have up here. So let me set this thing down on here, and I'll show what I'm looking at. Alright, so when you set this thing down on there, of course it's going to be a little tricky because of that bolt back there in the back. See, we don't have a lot of clearance, so you have to leave it in there when you take it out when you install it. These bolts in the middle, these four in the middle, are really long. One in the front and the one in the back are short. There's that, and then of course this little bracket up here in the front needs to be loose and adjusting. And I like to get every single bolt started, hand started first, before you go nuts and start trying to bolt it all together. You need to get all these turned a little bit, like so, okay? Get them all started, and then that one in the back, hiding in the shade right there, that little guy there, you're gonna have to mess with it and put it in with your fingers as far as you can, and then once you can fit a socket on there, you're good. You can get it tightened up. So from this point here, you need to make sure that all these little things that connect to all this stuff is not binding or up under the intake or anything like that, okay? And don't forget all your little plugs. Yeah, I can find the place where it goes. Okay. There we go. There's that one. There's that one. Alright. Got a vent here. That goes to the valve cover. This goes to the brake booster. And there's another one. Let's see here. Here it is right here. Yeah, that goes to the intake on this side. And this has an O-ring on it. Of course, you're going to lube that O-ring and make sure it's clean and then lube it. Same goes for this side here. See? Just pulls straight out, but it sets in there with an O-ring. So that's all I'm going to show on this. I'm not going to show anything going together after this. It's not that hard. Just have to get all this intake charge tube and stuff put together here, this resonator box. Not much else left to this besides, of course, obviously putting water in it and making sure all the little doodads are done. Now see, this here has a funny little thing that you have to, and it's kind of toasted, so you got to be careful with this. But It pops out, has a little O-ring on it too. So, but once you get everything stuck into its place, it'll all come together and start looking right. So I hope this helps somebody. Y'all have a good day. Thanks.